The battle for your life isn't fought in the outside world. It's fought in the quiet, unseen corners of your mind, where the weak version of yourself clings to comfort, fear, and old excuses. This weak self is the voice that whispers you're not enough, that warns you to settle, that chains you to patterns of avoidance and stagnation. It's the version that hides behind procrastination, hides behind self-doubt, and convinces you that the struggle is too hard or the cost too high. But if you want to rise, if you want to claim your power, if you want to live a life of purpose and clarity, you must ruthlessly kill that weak version of yourself, not with violence or hatred, but with cold, unshakable resolve. This is not a battle you can half win, because the weak self will fight tooth and nail for survival. It will throw every excuse, every comfort, every lie in your way to keep you stuck. Yet, the moment you decide to kill that version, to stop feeding it and start starving it, you ignite a transformation that cannot be reversed. This video is your blueprint to dismantle weakness at its core, to strip away the parts of you that refuse to grow, and to rebuild yourself from the ashes with discipline, courage, and relentless purpose. This is your path to becoming unbreakable. Because the only way forward is to outgrow the weak version that has held you hostage for too long. The first battle in killing the weak version of yourself is understanding exactly who you are fighting against. Because this weak self isn't some external enemy. It's a collection of habits, fears, and limiting beliefs that have rooted themselves so deeply inside your identity that they masquerade as you. This weak version is the part of you that settles for less, that chooses comfort over growth, that whispers lies like, "You're not ready, you're not worthy," or "This is too hard." It's the voice that sabotages your dreams through procrastination, distraction, and rationalization, convincing you to take the easier path even when you know it leads nowhere. Recognizing this version means seeing through the illusion that your weakness is permanent or that it defines your true potential. It means exposing the mental chains that hold you back, the fear of failure, the dread of discomfort, the need for external validation, and accepting that these are choices you have unconsciously made but can consciously break. The weak version is not a fixed identity. It's a set of conditioned responses, a mental and emotional state that thrives on inaction and avoidance. The fight begins by shining a ruthless light on these patterns without self-pity or excuses, by naming the enemy within so you can disarm it. When you truly see the weak version for what it is, a shadow self that feeds on your resistance to change, you reclaim power. You refuse to let fear dictate your decisions. You stop running from discomfort. You understand that the battle is not against circumstances, people, or external forces. It is against this internal saboteur that stands between you and your highest self. To kill the weak version, you must first know it intimately, understand its tricks, and then prepare to fight it with every ounce of your will. The weak version of yourself survives, not because it is strong, but because it thrives on comfort, fear, and familiarity, three forces that act like invisible chains, keeping you locked in old patterns, even when those patterns suffocate your growth. Comfort is the greatest enemy of transformation because it seduces you with ease and repetition, convincing you that sticking to what you know, even if it's limiting or painful, is safer than facing the unknown struggles of change. Fear reinforces this comfort. It whispers that stepping outside your zone will bring failure, rejection, or pain, so it persuades you to retreat, to avoid risk, to play small rather than risk being truly alive. Familiarity deceives you into believing that your current state, no matter how weak or inadequate, is somehow part of your identity, making the idea of change feel like betrayal or loss. The weak version clings to these because it's a survival mechanism. Your mind equates disruption with danger, so it defends the status quo with stubborn resistance. This resistance shows up as procrastination, self-doubt, second-guessing, and 1,000 small compromises that slowly erode your potential. Yet understanding why the weak version survives is crucial because it reveals the battlefield. The struggle is not simply external, it's internal, psychological, and deeply rooted in your nervous system's craving for predictability. To kill this weak self, you must become comfortable with discomfort, you must learn to embrace uncertainty, and you must dismantle the false safety net of familiarity by consciously choosing growth even when it feels painful. The more you feed comfort and fear, the stronger your weak version becomes. But every step you take into discomfort, every moment you resist the urge to stay small, you weaken its grip and build your new self. The survival of the weak version depends on your unwillingness to confront fear and discomfort, but your evolution demands the exact opposite. This is why killing the weak version is not a one-time act. It's a daily, brutal choice to walk into the unknown and say, "I am stronger than my fears, and I refuse to settle for less." The cost of holding on to your weak version is far greater than most realize because it silently steals everything you could be: the energy, the opportunities, the relationships, the peace of mind, by keeping you trapped in cycles of self-sabotage and limitation. When you tolerate weakness within yourself, you accept mediocrity as a default. You resign to a life half-lived, and you forfeit your potential to become something greater. This cost is not just external failure or missed chances, it's internal erosion, a slow decay of confidence, courage, and clarity that compounds over time. Emotionally, holding on to weakness means you're vulnerable to anxiety, self-doubt, and frustration, constantly fighting battles with yourself that leave you drained and defeated before you even face the world. Mentally, it clouds your focus and judgment, making every decision heavier, every challenge scarier, every setback more paralyzing. Physically, it manifests as fatigue, restlessness, and stress that weaken your body and disrupt your resilience. The weak version of yourself consumes your life by hijacking your time with distractions, excuses, and avoidance. And every moment spent feeding that version is a moment lost from building the strong, disciplined, relentless self you desire. The true price is a life stolen from your own hands, a future where you look back with regret, wondering what might have been if only you had killed the weak version sooner. Yet this cost is avoidable if you recognize that weakness is not your identity, but a habit, a default that can be challenged and broken. The question isn't if weakness will cost you, it already is, but when you choose to stop paying the price. This moment of clarity is the turning point. When you understand that every day you feed your weak self, you choose to stay small. But every day you fight it, you reclaim your power and open the door to a new life. The cost of holding on is high, but the cost of killing weakness is the price of freedom, and it is a price worth paying without hesitation.
Killing the weak version of yourself demands more than just intention. It requires discipline, routine, and mental toughness forged through consistent action that chips away at old habits and builds new, stronger ones in their place. Discipline is the weapon that cuts through excuses and hesitation. It's the daily commitment to do what must be done even when motivation fades or comfort tempts you to quit. Routine is the structure that supports this discipline, creating systems and rituals that remove decision fatigue and embed strength into your daily life. Whether that's waking up early, exercising relentlessly, practicing focused work, or setting boundaries that protect your energy. Mental toughness is the armor that shields you from the internal and external forces that seek to pull you back into weakness. It's the ability to stay calm under pressure, to embrace discomfort without surrender, and to maintain clarity when faced with distraction or self-doubt. Together, these tools form the foundation of killing weakness not as a one-time battle, but as a relentless campaign where every choice reinforces your new identity. This process requires brutal honesty, acknowledging when you slip, learning from failures, and refusing to let setbacks become excuses to return to old versions of yourself. It also demands patience because dismantling weakness is a gradual war fought in small, deliberate actions repeated daily. Each moment you choose discipline over laziness, routine over chaos, mental toughness over surrender, you weaken the grip of your old self and strengthen the fortress of your new one. The journey is neither easy nor glamorous. It is a grind, a sacrifice, a daily proving ground where you earn your freedom one battle at a time. But in this grind, you discover something powerful. Your true strength is not the absence of weakness, but the refusal to be defined or limited by it. Discipline, routine, and mental toughness become your tools not just to kill weakness, but to rise unbreakable, unshaken, and unstoppable. Embracing discomfort is the crucible where the weak version of yourself is forged into strength, because pain is not the enemy, it is the gateway to transformation that most avoid, but the stoic warrior understands must be faced head-on. Weakness survives in comfort zones because comfort numbs growth, shields you from challenges, and cloaks you in illusions of safety. But growth demands discomfort. It demands that you lean into the hard truths, the moments of struggle, and the relentless pressure that forces you to adapt or break. Every moment of pain, whether physical exhaustion, emotional turbulence, or mental strain, is a test that either crushes you or shapes you, depending on your response. Choosing to embrace discomfort means you no longer run from challenges or avoid what scares you. Instead, you seek them out as opportunities to kill the old self and build a new, stronger identity. This doesn't mean seeking pain for its own sake, but understanding that discomfort is the price of progress and the furnace in which resilience is tempered. The weak version will scream to avoid pain. It will fabricate excuses, rationalize quitting, and seek escape. But the warrior answers with calm resolve, knowing that true freedom lies on the other side of struggle. Embracing discomfort rewires your mind, toughens your spirit, and expands your capacity to endure and thrive. It breaks down the false safety net of weakness and replaces it with confidence rooted in experience, discipline, and mastery over self. This embrace transforms every setback into a lesson, every hardship into fuel, and every challenge into a stepping stone toward your strongest self. When you lean into discomfort rather than flee it, you silence the weak voice within and prove to yourself again and again that you are more powerful than your fears. In this process, pain loses its power over you because you redefine it, not as a threat, but as a necessary part of the warrior's path to greatness. Rebuilding strong after killing the weak version of yourself is not about returning to who you were. It's about crafting a new identity forged from the clarity, discipline, and resilience you have fought hard to develop. This rebuilding is intentional and strategic. It requires you to shed the narratives, habits, and environments that supported weakness and replace them with those that fuel strength and growth. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance or past failures, but as the architect of your future. Someone who designs their life around core values like integrity, courage, and relentless effort. This new identity is built daily through choices that reflect your commitment to strength. The habits you practice, the thoughts you entertain, the company you keep, and the goals you pursue. It demands ongoing self-awareness, where you continuously monitor for signs of slipping back into old patterns and act swiftly to course correct. Rebuilding strong also means embracing vulnerability, not as weakness, but as courage to face your flaws honestly and to grow beyond them. It is about integrating lessons from past struggles to create a foundation that can withstand future storms. The process is not linear. There will be moments of doubt, setbacks, and temptation to revert. But each time you rise, you reinforce your new identity and push the boundaries of what you believe is possible. Over time, this identity becomes unshakable because it is rooted in experience and deliberate action, not fleeting motivation. You no longer define yourself by the weak version you killed, but by the strong version you consistently choose to become. This is the power of rebuilding. It transforms destruction into creation, loss into gain, and struggle into mastery, making you not just stronger, but truly unstoppable.
Killing the weak version of yourself is not a simple task. It is a lifelong battle fought in the trenches of your mind and spirit, demanding brutal honesty, relentless discipline, and unwavering commitment. But it is also the path to true freedom, power, and fulfillment, the path that separates those who live passively from those who rise as warriors in their own lives. Remember, the weak version you carry is not your destiny. It's a habit, a shadow that fades as you step into the light of your highest self. Every choice you make to confront discomfort, to break routine, to sharpen your mental toughness, chips away at that old self and builds the strong, unbreakable warrior you are meant to be. This journey is not easy. It will test you, push you to limits you never knew you had, and demand sacrifices. But on the other side of that struggle lies a version of you that no circumstance, no opinion, no setback can shake or define. That is your true power. If this message resonates with you, comment below and share how you faced your weak self or what step you're ready to take next. Subscribe to join a community committed to growth, strength, and stoic clarity. Your transformation starts now. Kill the weak version, embrace the warrior within, and live a life that commands respect, not because of who you were, but because of who you have become. I'll see you in the next video.